64% of the world's population live in cities, and it is predicted that this will rise to 68% by 2025 according to the United Nations. This increase in city populations is leading to a decline in city parks and green spaces. City parks play a vital role in the health, well-being and happiness of urban populations. Common city parks are largely self-contained with only a handful of entrances and therefore aren't well integrated into the fabric of cities. These parks are also largely comprised of mown grass, which doesn't encourage biodiversity. A new wave of innovative new parks are looking to enhance the quality and abundance of green infrastructure by using previously derelict sites or empty sites and offer a solution to the future of our cities by changing the way that city residents interact and use green spaces. Valencia's Jardin Turia is a perfect example of how parks can be created in unlikely places. The park is laid out in the drained riverbed of the River Turia. The Great Flood of Valencia in 1957 drove the authorities to divert the course of the Turia south of the city. Floods had always been frequent, but the flood left more than 80 dead and caused significant damage. Initially, plans were developed to use the dry traverse for a motorway or a railway line, but a citizen movement eventually led to the area being turned into a green destination in the 1980s. The park, which winds through the centre of the city, covers an area of 110 hectares and stretches for about 9 kilometres. It serves as a meeting place and recreation area and is frequently used by joggers, cyclists and walkers. It was ahead of its time and offered visitors and residents a glimpse of a future where a green infrastructure was heavily blended into the city. The Highline in New York has many similar qualities. The Highline is a former raised railway line. In 1999, after decades of disuse, many people were calling the Highline an ugly eyesore. Mayor Giuliani even signed a demolition order as one of his last acts in office. But few of these critics saw what had secretly taken over the structure, a thriving garden of wild plants. Inspired by the beauty of this hidden landscape, Friends of the Highline, a non-profit organisation, set out to advocate for its preservation and reuse as a public space. As a result, the West Chelsea Special District facilitated the use of the Highline as a public park. The Highline is now one continuous 1.5 mile long greenway featuring 500 plus species of plants and trees. The Highline offers a chance for New Yorkers to move across whole parts of the city surrounded by green infrastructure, giving them a daily dose of nature. It has inspired other parks to turn disused railways into parks such as Philadelphia's Rail Park, Atlanta's Beltline, and Chicago's Bloomingdale Trail. London's Olympic Park, like the Highline, was created on a previously derelict industrial site. Whilst the park is more self-contained than the Highline and Valencia's Jardin del Turia, the park is purposefully blended into the nearby streets and emphasises plant species diversity above mown grass areas. People moving through the area are forced to connect with nature along key cycle paths and roads, bringing the benefits of a natural environment to residents on a regular basis. This trend is likely to continue, with cities all around the world planning ambitious new green spaces that offer a deeper connection to nature for its citizens and protect against the impacts of climate change. The Champs-Élysées in Paris, for example, has just had plans approved to be turned into a huge garden in the centre of Paris. Costing €250 million, the scheme will look to use 1.2 miles of green infrastructure to bring Parisians back to an area of the city that has been avoided due to the dominance of cars. More cities will look to continue to enhance previously underused locations to improve the health and well-being of residents. These parks offer a solution to the decrease in contact with nature that is occurring due to lack of space, and these parks offer a glimpse of what city life in the future could be like if decision makers prioritise the enhancement of green infrastructure in their cities.